Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Way tall again.
So Benny's already here. We'll go ahead and bring him up. What's up, dude?
How you doing, sir?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for coming over tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Still getting him. We just got out the truck, so I'm getting him situated in. But I'm here, man. I'm here.
Do your thing, and just come on in when you get done.
All right, give me about 2 minutes.
All right, bro. Thanks everybody. Let's see who's in here. Boy, it's a lot of y'all already. 230. Izzy Pop. Thank y'all. Sarah Me. Little Dev. Glaciers. Pindar. Let's see who else. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Whistle while you alert. Shannon S. Let's see. Real Rockin' Robin. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Anyway, let's see if anybody. Skilo, what's up? Channel Surfer. Suzanne. Tink My Bell. There's a lot. Sarah Silva. Golly, I haven't seen some of you guys in a while. Hey, Jaded. Let's see who that was. Okay, so Adrian just texted. She's doing the same thing Benny is doing right now. So she'll be here in just a minute. Anyway,
it just fell right on that minute, that weird minute.
You was like 8:30, and I was like, he's not going to be right by 8:30. I was like, I know how.
No, he was still throwing the bowling ball, man.
Yeah, I saw it.
He's still bouncing the bowling ball.
Dude, he was launching a bowling ball. I think bounced 4 times. So I was like, wow.
He didn't bowl very bad. He bowled 73 on one of them. I was like, wow.
That's how it happens, man. You're like, you're over there with all this form, and they're like,
yeah. Just come through and smash it.
Yeah, and just wear you out, and you're sitting there like, man, I just need to stop. Like, we put the bumper guards.
I thought I was gonna have to teach him a little something, and no. Oh man.
Dude, I had to go. My grandparents were like on a bowling team when I was young, so I would go with them, and I'd try to play against them, and they would just whoop me. And I'm like, I just don't even. This ain't even fun.
I took bowling as a class in college.
They had a bowling class in college.
You had to have like an extracurricular class, and bowling was one of them.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
That shows you how much there is here.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of
That's
opportunities.
what our colleges do.
Right? Did I lose you, Benny? I'm wondering if Foggy Smiles, thank you for becoming a member. I'm hoping we're still connected good. I think we are. Is it running good?
Mm-hmm. Seems to be.
You there, Benny? So I went up to 1080p. I hope that doesn't hurt anything.
Cat lover, that makes me feel better. I'm not the only one that took it in college.
Let me see here. There he is. Oh, don't do this tonight.
My apologies.
You're good, bro. Do you think I should drop with the
BS?
Do what?
I said, is it with the BS tonight?
All my technical stuff? No, it shouldn't be. Should I drop it down to about 720 instead of 1080p?
It seems to be working fine.
Yeah,
Probably do. Yeah, I'll do that real quick just to yeah. All right. No, it's not gonna let
mine too.
Do you see it? It ain't gonna let me do it. There, yeah, it is. Here we go. All right. All right. So this is what
I'm back on my stool tonight. That's why I'm taller than
yeah, that chair is back there.
I just came in from the grocery store and like literally right at the time for the live to start. So I just grabbed the stool.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna make it.
I told you I would.
But I'm gonna start this out tonight. I mean, since Benny's up here and he's the one that I need to talk to about this. I want to make something very, very clear for the people, that were saying that Benny was the one that was doing those messages. That was not Benny.
No, sir. No, ma'am.
No. Benny and myself actually went up on Doug's panel and tried to, be adults and put things aside and tried to really just try to do something professional. He tried to play games on that one. And I'm talking about Doug. No thanks, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to hide it. But he came at me with this BS after that one. I made amends with him again. Me and Allie went on there. And then those messages came. Those were from July. This would come during the stuff when Doug Live from Northport had been attacked by another YouTuber. This stuff is serious. He was not bullying me, and it's not about drama. It's about awareness. That needs to stop. That stuff right there, threatening people and putting money up. But the thing is, like the proof, he used spoof numbers, and Benny will tell you he'll hang up before he can get recorded, and he'll run that mouth, and then he'll switch his spoof number and then do those things.
But it was 100% him. I heard him with my own ears, and
well, the thing about it was, I told him in July. I made that video in July, and I said, do it again. And I'm going to show how you're harassing people and doing things. Well, he did it again. He waited. He tried to push the button. All right, you want me to kick the other one, Benny?
Yeah, coming on the iPad.
All right, yeah, I'll kick the other one. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. It's running smooth too. This is good. So what's the last part you heard? You got sound? I think you're muted. This should be running like phenomenal.
All right, I was getting all my audio set up. I'm good.
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. So I said, what's the last part you heard? We were just talking about, he had put that facade up to me and you. I think he attacked you and me after that. But
I've been constantly under attack.
I know you have.
Yeah, for pretty much for a year and a half now, I guess.
You've turned over a leaf. You know what I mean?
I really have, bro. I see the mess and the stress coming, and I really try to go the other way. I do try to stay out of the way. On a lot, and just haven't had an opinion of things, right? Cam had contacted me earlier today. He's like, hey, did you see the video I put out? And I was like, I don't think I did. And he was like, no, the one with the text. And I was like, oh yeah, I did see that one. And that one was disturbing on a lot of fronts. But what it certainly depicted is just somebody that could really be struggling, and somebody that could just use some extra prayer and some extra help,
That's right. And that's what I wanted to.
And that's, I think before you would see it as.
Dang, it's cutting out bad. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, now it's good. See, it's weird. It's like every other word it'll get you, but then it'll come through clear for a minute. But it's guys, can you hear him? Is it cutting at home? Right on your all's end, or is it good? Are we coming in good? Let us know because it looks like it is. Well, let's see here. What did they say?
It's good. Well,
Okay.
Some people are saying it's good. Some people are saying it's cutting out.
People say it's good. Benny.
You seem okay to me.
Yeah, like we're good, and it's like you're getting a little choppy or something. Are you near your router?
Yeah.
Are you near a router?
Sounds right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So,
PK's
like,
choppy. Okay,
this
hold on.
is the thing.
How's that? Is that better?
That's
yeah,
good.
I have my headphone on.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So yeah, like where you were saying, like I mean, you've been staying out of this stuff and everything, and that's we really try our hardest to. There's a lot of stuff we let slide, but this stuff right here, I just want people. He needs some extra prayer. He needs I don't know what's going on with him, but he comes at different fronts. He'll say he was trying to say that Benny was a mole. He's having the things he was saying in those messages showed that he really didn't keep up with the case. What he was doing, I mean, there were details that he was trying to talk about that he didn't even know the details that were very blatant. He was trying to say Benny's a mole. He's doing this. He's working for him. And I'm like, bro, I'm just going on with that. I mean, you could see it in
Absolutely.
there. He and I hate to say this when we've seen it every time Doug gets upset about something, it's over views and it's over money and it's over that, and that's terrible the way to look at it. He went after you. We see how much he cares when he talks about my children in those messages the way he did.
Yeah,
I mean, that has to stop. Be real, and when but if some, and I'm not considering it bullying. I told him, I said, you come to my house any day of the week, son. Well, I bet people that don't run their mouth are the ones you watch out for. It's not people that are saying that I register my hands and stuff like that. Don't threaten. Because you can't.
It's like this most extreme form of machismo, I guess.
It is.
I'm not here to ever say that I haven't said stuff like that too, but
bro, I have to.
I mean, I and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to be hypocritical about it. I've said those things before too, but I genuinely am trying to turn a leaf. And that tough guy telling another man what you'll do to him online is silly.
It really is. And but the thing is with him, he goes to the extreme about it. It's always I'm gonna, it's something graphic. It's something, and look, we all get mad. We all have a temper, and everybody said, "Oh, just let it slide, let it slide." Well, when you try to let it slide, people then take it to the extremes, just like Doug Live Northport. That guy was in a coma because of another YouTuber. That should have never happened.
No, I agree.
It should never happen. And I mean, like, and people just won't let things go. I sat back. I told Benny on one live he did. I was over there watching, and I said, I've sat back and watched, and you have. He stayed out of stuff. He made a lot of strong points, and I'm like, that's what it's about. It's about it's about progressing. Yeah, we all mess up. We all come from things, and we might digress tomorrow or next week or 5 years from now, but as long as we go back up, always trying to improve from mess ups, that's what makes a difference. Right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say I'm involved in a lot of things that I'm not. I mean, it's just like I don't have time to do all the things the people on the internet say that I'm doing. It's just insane.
Seems to me you've been making moves and getting out of the system, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's and it is. It's crazy. when people know they can't really come to you for, you know, the go-to on the drama and all the stuff, you know, and it's like you want to do some adulting, and it becomes difficult. You know, people, well, they're used to this and they're used to that kind of Benny, or they're used to that kind of Cam. And, you know, when you want to do something different and just, you know, just leave certain things alone, or like you said, progress on, everyone tries to, you know, put a treble hook in you. Keep you stuck there, you know?
That's right. And the more I've noticed, the more that you try harder, the more that's going to come. And and the more stupid it becomes. There was something like about, you know, I got bent out of shape about a few things real early on. I was like, but then after I learned how to deal with it, I was like, man, I'm not even worried about them, because that's what they want, is that reaction. Because there's so many channels coming out now. It's how they're trying to build, is from a reaction.
Exactly.
And when you give it to them, you know, you're just feeding it. But with certain other things like this right here, I'm trying to show what the problems are. These are the kind of things we have to move away from. Now, when I posted that video at 7:18 in the morning, he came back, he texted at 7:20 after the video started, the threatening again. And, you know, I read you those messages earlier today, and you know, I was just like, to the point. I said, this is what it is, Doug. You have to, he was talking about my wife and talking about, I said, you would be so lucky to have a woman like Allie. I said, you don't know what, you know, what a ride or die woman is, because, you know, you can't have a woman stand beside you when you can't even stand beside yourself, Doug. I said, you got to get it together, bro. And I said, you know, the thing is, when people, good channels come out and you want to put out that BS, the only reason you get mad is because then it makes you look bad. I said, let's move. Let's try to progress here and quit with the threatening like a middle schooler, whatever I said. But, you know, it is what it is. I guess it's got to be the bigger man and shut it down. And if you're going to waste your time spoof numbering and staying up all hours of the night harassing people, my God, get a life. We got things to do. There's cases out here to talk about. I didn't even get involved with the Kylie Rodney stuff. I've talked about it a little bit. I want to look into some of that stuff, but there's cases all over the place that are just getting neglected. And you know, we're going to talk a little bit. I was waiting for Adrian to come on, because we're going to talk about some of the stuff with Summer's case. We're going to talk. I was going to bring up some stuff with, you know, get your points and views on Michael Vaughn and on Kylie's, and the teacher, Eliza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, that's crazy. So it came out that the man who, Eliza, what's her last name?
Fletcher.
Not Fletcher. Eliza Fletcher. Yes. So the guy that did this, I guess the police had the footage. Yeah, had the footage of this violent, you know, kidnapping the whole time. But he had been in prison for what? How long?
I don't know.
20 years for an especially aggravated kidnapping on a lawyer. Him and a friend at 16 put in the trunk of a car, and they went to one or more ATM spots to withdraw money. At which time one of the ATM spots, the lawyer screamed for help, and the two teens fled. Sounded like his buddy. His buddy. The report was that the buddy, the lawyer, gave accounts that the friend made several statements he could hear from in the trunk, asking his friend, asking Cleota to please stop and let the man out. So they gave the buddy 18 months on a 20-year or something, but Cleota there, he served the whole piece. So came home.
He's upset.
Yeah, he maxed it out and came home. Been home 2 years, and evidently he's been doing a lot of creep stuff, asking women, propositioning women and things, and just not a good guy.
Where is the release on somebody that does that much? Shouldn't they go into a halfway house immediately? I mean, your institution.
I don't know much about his post confinement situation, but it sounded like he just came straight back and, sort of eased his way back into the community and knew, sort of figured out what he could and couldn't do without bringing attention to himself. And it's interesting. It seems as if even his brother, he's locked up too. They came to talk to Cleotha, and brother there had some outstanding dope warrant. So he took the ride. Not, they say it's not connected, so
yeah.
It's just interesting, also seeming that she was sort of discovered maybe kind of out in the open a little bit. So
yeah,
there's a lot of interesting dynamics. It was actually unfolding as I was going through Memphis. And it was, I'm thinking about maybe stopping for a few hours on the way back through. I got to go right through Memphis.
There you go.
Stopping and droning around and checking some stuff out, but I just don't know. I have to just play it by ear.
Well, I mean, that's awesome, and that's that you have that opportunity, and that's what we've talked on the phone multiple times. That's a dream to be able to take off and do these kinds of things. That's what
absolutely.
I think that's where you make a difference. We got a taste of it here, and people, there's been people say, why do y'all keep covering Summer Wells case? Well, it's in our backyard. That's really what we have access to really look into the best.
Right.
I'll tell you, man, I didn't get to tell you about some stuff earlier. We had talked a little bit about some RV issues. I'll talk to you about that later. But
yeah,
there, with that guy that how do you say his name?
Cleotha.
All right.
Cleotha. Yeah.
Cleotha. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, and I couldn't pronounce it if I even tried. But anyway, that guy right there, 20-year sentence, 25-year sentence. That's pretty much a life sentence.
Recidivism is real. It really is.
It is.
He got out and, he already graduated. I would assume that there's more to this. Is not specifically money motivated, but it's motivated by other things. When it has that undertone with some of the things that some of the reports of other women around him have made about him and money and things. And it's a sad situation. Now I do have an opinion on the footage of her abduction. I just don't feel like that should be so widely publicized like that.
No.
I know everyone wants to see it, and it probably, it adds to a certain level of awareness, but at the same time, I think that it desensitizes people.
That should be left for trial.
Should be left for trial. Maybe after that, if it's something that people, desire to see, then they could probably FOIA that. But for it to be so readily available to the public before a trial, even before, her recovery, it seemed problematic. It seemed problematic. But with that being said, I do feel like those things, it sort of plays into the desensitization of the public. It's hard to look at, and when you do, you look at it over and over and over, and then you can. I've not watched it one time, just because I don't want to be desensitized to it. I don't want to see that sort of material, and
I haven't seen it at all either.
If you look at it over and over and over, by the end, it doesn't hit the same as it did the first time you saw it.
That's right. That's right.
That's real deal.
This is the point I was going to make about Cleotha. Somebody who gets a 20+ year sentence, whatever, that is a sentence that is almost a life sentence. You're institutionalized coming out of that. The world has changed. It is a different You know, it's a different place.
Different world.
So those people that most of the time, and I've heard it from people that have lived it, they tend to plan a way to come back. They already know that they can't function in society. So they have an idea of what they're going to do to have to be able to come back.
I mean, this guy didn't seem like he really had a whole complete plan. It seemed
right, like I'm just saying, they're like, oh, well,
yeah,
I'm going
absolutely.
Something. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And there again, as a juvenile certified to be an adult, he caught an adult sentence as a 16-year-old. Did 20 years. He came home, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what his post-confinement situation looked like, but he was back in the community, and he was with his brother. He's around that neighborhood, and it seems like he sort of slipped through the cracks, and it cost someone their life.
Right.
Yeah,
it's awful. So we'll move on till Adrian gets here. We'll go. I'm just trying to talk about these till we get to what she was going to be on for. So with well, actually, I've got something. Let me share this. You're going to like this. I actually just got these sent to me right before. Please up real quick. All right. Yeah, this is okay. Let me share my screen. Oh, thank you, Princess Mariposa. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate it. This was taken October of 2021 at the Wells property, and I have not seen these before. And
this is the old nerdy attic.
Yeah,
right.
But this vehicle here, I'm guessing. There's other ones.
That's the uppers right there.
Well, I thought so, but I don't think theirs was 4-door. Is it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Theirs was not that brand. It wasn't that brand either.
No.
That looks like a Nissan to me.
That or a... Yeah, it does look like a Nissan Titan, don't it?
Nissan. Yeah. 4-door.
Yep. And that's...
Look at the back. Go back one more time, if you would, Cam.
Okay. All right. Where were you want me to look at?
Tailgate. It's all smashed. Okay. See it?
Right here?
Yeah, the tailgate's all bent in.
Well, I can tell you this, too. I didn't know if this one was taken. The other ones were dated that were sent to me. But I know that these are around October because of... This is one thing I wanted to point out. Look at this tailgate. You see what color this is? That's red. This is one of the big questions I had when she came back from Wisconsin.
That was one of the first things we noticed.
When I first went up there and when I first really talked to her and met her, this tailgate was red. And I said, that wasn't like that before, was it? And I was answered with the question, I asked the question and I was answered with very quickly, I backed into a tree and it got changed. I changed it in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah. And did they say tree?
Sorry?
Did they tell you tree? I backed into a tree, or did they? Yes. Was it different? Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. So I don't know if many people had ever seen that. I've never really pointed that out before, and
We've talked about
but I
it,
know,
and
but it's but we've also talked about a lot of stuff
I
that
know.
people didn't even know about the trails because that's a long time ago. And people haven't ever even seen that. But this one. The date on these were October, I believe. I'm thinking 21st or 27th is what they said. And I was trying to figure out because when he did these, I was trying to figure out if it was this is the person that was up there working on the truck. I'm
sure.
thinking that's who that was.
I'm about 100%. I'm about 90%. Let me say that.
Because the only reason these were screenshots I had to take to make the thumbnails.
Now you look like a creep with Abraham.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, those are two of the same, but I don't know. This is the only reason I was wanting to know is because that short time after that, Candace was being very secretive. There were different calls coming in, and I would hear late at nighttime, you would hear the sensor going across the driveway would go off. I said, "Who's that?" She would say, "My friend." And I'm like, who's rolling up that late over there?
Cops and robbers. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what this is the big part I wanted to get to. We were talking, I was in your chat earlier on the second live you went on. And there's something that has bothered me for a long time I've always felt this way about certain issues with Jody Sue and the things that were going on with
okay.
What?
So where is it at? Maybe it hasn't come through on it. It's not it.
What? Oh, there she is.
Here.
There she is. I'm still trying to get Jaxo, but I was told Grandma said she backed into someone at the dollar store in Wisconsin. See, that's different than
But remember, too, there was the thing early on where was it Allie that said that they had backed into somebody?
It was Dudley.
Dudley, yes.
And the ambulance came.
Well, yeah, Dudley said he talked to Summer on the phone when they were in a wreck at the Dollar General. And I was like, is that when this happens? Because they have told multiple different stories. I'm like, so which vehicle? Because we know it wasn't the Subaru. And I'm not saying this has anything to do with anything, but with that tailgate, that just doesn't. When you leave town with one tailgate and you come back with a different one,
that's weird.
And you don't, and that's not a point of something to be looked into. And actually, I've been doing a tell, Benny, and this is the reason why I've been doing a tell. I've talked to you about this because I think I've talked to you many times about we've tried to report things to law enforcement over there. We have been told we're going to be called back. We've been told they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and they never do. Never. We never get there was share files given to other people to give information. We were never given that or even knew about that. So we did, we put information through email, whatever. And who knows if it even gets read. So I get a message earlier by somebody who's obviously just not happy with anything, but they, that I guess you would say that you just called the uppers, and they were like, well, we don't like our information to go out to everyone in this. I said, nobody's putting your information out to anybody. I said, what people are putting out is trying to spread awareness because you have different groups that are trying to hold on to different things that could help. One massive, one think tank of people could bring answers to this child's case. But why are everything so subjugated? Why does law enforcement feel the need to not take any kind of reports for if it comes from YouTube. We see that YouTube has talked to main people involved.
Yeah.
That bothers me. It bothers me. Because when Adrian comes up here, you'll see what we've been talking about. You know, the dirt bike guys that were out there. When that guy, did you see, Benny? Did you see the when JLR went out there at the end of Light Hollow out there with that Brandon guy?
Yeah,
that guy is the cousin to the guys that were on the motorcycles that rode all over that evidence, right?
Oh yeah.
He purposely, when he purposely left out information when JLR asked and said, well, there's been no law enforcement, there's been nobody that searched here, but he added same key things that happened, like his cousins being on motorcycles. They're him and his buddy ride out here. There's this and that. I'm like, he is holding back information on purpose. And then when JLR asks, is there any ponds back here? He takes him to an opposite pond, not even the one that was back there that was in question. And then he knew that very well, all back in through there. Well, this is the things that are being looked into right now. And concerning what you were talking about on your live with how Miss Jody Sue feels it's necessary to try to make Dobbs, I felt like, a fall guy. She was very dead set on going certain places.
Well, she very early on just threw him out there.
Early on, but they're back on it now.
Right.
It's back to him now. And there's a clip I found, and the reason I found this clip, and it's from the interview room when Candace was down at the horse pond talking to Chris McDonough. And I found where she's talking about she had some TikToks of Hunter were on her phone to give to law enforcement. And he says, have you given that to them yet? Hold on a second. Let me pull that up real quick. That's going to be the bit. Well, then she goes into it. I didn't recall. So they're talking about Candace has asked, did you catch this part? Candace has asked, was there anything different when y'all made it home on the 15th that day? She said, well, when we pulled in, there was a blue van across from my neighbor. So that would have been across from Jody Sue's. That's the 15th. Dobbs shouldn't have been there on the 15th, period.
No, because he left on the 14th, allegedly.
So who's the blue van?
Does Sherfy have a van?
See, no. They have red trucks. There is a blue van that's up at his property, but she said across from my neighbor. So that's right. When they're pulling in, all you can see is, where the parking place is, right there on the opposite side of the road of Jody Sue's, where Dobbs is parking. I've showed those clips. I can pull those up too, where he parked at. That's where they would have been able to see coming in, and that's where the whole. Now Dobbs also owned a blue van, but that was in Georgia. In Georgia. My echo. Is that coming from us? You there, Benny? That's I'm gonna mute that right there. He'll come back. So let me pull this clip up real quick. You'll see what I'm talking about. There, and I'm gonna pull the map and I'll pull a video, hopefully, if I have it on this computer. Let me find it real quick. There he is. Let me let him back up.
Sorry about that, dude. You're
good, man. I'm gonna pull this clip up here real quick because this is where it's gonna be. And I'm gonna show where I think you'll want to get your weigh in on this, because I couldn't believe couldn't believe this because I didn't know that they were talking about the 15th with the blue van. I heard them say that, but I missed that it was the 15th and that being across because Dobbs does drive. He was in a Trailblazer, a blue Trailblazer, Chevy Trailblazer, and I thought they were just mistaken. But there's a difference between an SUV and a van.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
What kind of vehicle did Sherfy jump out of when he approached JLR and all them?
It was like a little black town and country thing.
Van. It was like a van, right?
It was like a van, but it was weird. It was like real small.
Okay.
I'll play that clip too.
I thought it was a van, but I wasn't for sure.
Let's see here. Let me get this going. And this will get credit. This is credit. We're using under fair use of the interview room, but here you go. I wanted to play this because I feel like this is important because it might say something that I missed too. All right.
And then he tried to use the water right there. And he went like this with the water a couple times. I told him, please stop that. She don't like to be splashed. So he quit and got out. And I said, come on, son, we got to go get Grandma's prescription. And we just got back in the truck and left.
Okay, so a lot has been said about the teeth. Right, and there's a can over there and stuff. Now, I asked Hunter.
Hold on.
When we come down,
tell me the story on that.
This was littered and trash.
Okay.
It was all trash down here. Like, them teas were all over through there, all through everywhere.
Okay.
Those flowers that my mom wanted to pick from here, and I said, Mom, you better not do that. It's a state park. You get in trouble for that if you get caught.
Okay.
I'm not getting caught for that.
Okay.
And I told her that, and we just walked up the truck, but I don't know where that iced tea coming from. I know that I did buy an iced tea from the smoke shop in town, but I bought that iced tea from my mother.
Okay.
And if she was here today,
so that one can't be it.
Right.
And the vapes that I bought were nicotine vapes from the hippie house
next door.
Right, next door.
Okay.
Well,
do what?
No, she's like, I don't know where that iced tea came from. I bought one, but it was for my mom. It couldn't be that one over there on the ground at all.
Now, but the reason I question that is because, and have you ever seen Grandma drink?
No.
I've never seen Grandma drink. And she told me that she quit 100% cold turkey years ago and that she would not touch it anymore.
Yeah. So she might do other things, but that ain't her. That ain't it.
And I have never seen her drink ever.
Now, what? Oh, so hold on. I'm closing some stuff in my task manager just to make sure this runs smoothly for everybody. This is gonna get where it gets important right here in just a second, because he's gonna talk about. There's a lot of stuff, man. This is where it's at. Back at the beginning is where all the info's at, and that's where everything's got. Yeah, it's gonna be there. So let me see. I had to close Canva 30 times on here in the task manager. I hate that. That should work. Yeah, no, it brought it down a lot. All right, so let me mute this so it doesn't echo.
Well, no, they're kind of one's further down by the mall. The smoke shop's further down by the mall where I got the IC, and the hippie house is just right over here before you cross over the bridge.
Got it. Okay, so the smoke shop where you bought the
we went to the hospital,
right,
and picked up my mom,
right,
and then we stopped at the smoke shop and I got Mom that twisted tea that she wanted, and then I stopped at the hippie house and got me some smoked nicotine vapes. Is what I got.
Okay, what flavor?
I think they were Skittles.
Okay.
Because that's kind of like.
Do they have like a different flavor?
They actually taste like Skittles.
Okay.
It's the only kind I'll buy.
Okay.
And then we left from there and we went straight down to Walgreens and went to the drive-thru. But after we were done at the hippie house, I think we bought 3 of them. I
don't know.
That is true. That you were right. They did not have like vapes nicotine vapes at the hippie house.
I know that they had them at Discount Tobacco.
Discount Tobacco, both of them.
Yeah, both
there's
of
the
them
orange
had them.
one that we filmed for you guys. The one across from Fort Henry, she went there, and I spoke to that guy, and he said that they change their footage over at the end of every week. And he was like, yeah, one investigator came in and pulled that footage. And I was like, okay, well, that's a good thing. Now,
Yeah,
the white one beside the hippie house, when we had went there back in July or August, when was it?
We went there in July.
July.
No,
maybe. I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know if it was July or August.
It was early on. We went out there, and they had said the hippie house and the white discounts back said nobody had been there to pull footage. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, whatever. She also said Summer was in the store with Candace that day. But that was all. She said her manager said that. Let me correct myself. That's hearsay double time.
Yeah.
But she clearly said there's nicotine vapes at the hippie house, right?
Nicotine vapes at the hippie house.
Look, I didn't catch that stuff before until, you got to go back and listen to it thoroughly. And we just caught that just now. So, that's big deals. Those are big points. Like, you're mixing your story up. You should, and this is another thing. Benny, I don't think I've even told you this. We asked Grandma, what was it when we asked her where they went to?
Which discount?
Which
tobacco?
discount tobacco?
She immediately said both. Yeah, like right out. Like, didn't she say something about Candace? What didn't you ask? You have to see what Candace said or something. She said, because I said, well, did Summer go into the second one? Because they went to the discount tobacco first, right?
Yeah.
The orange one.
Yeah.
Then they came on down and went to the hippie house. And I said, well, did Summer go into the hippie or to the discount tobacco, the white one, with Candace? And she said, I don't know. You would have to ask Candace.
How do you?
But then Candace would never answer us about that.
She wouldn't answer us.
She would.
She didn't want to mix the story up.
Yeah. Now she blew up though whenever she thought that people were saying that she had Summer in the hippie house. She said, kids aren't allowed there. She flipped out. She said, I would never have my child in there.
Like, and this all happened in March of this year. The last time we were up there. February, not March. Yeah, because March was the last search in February. No?
It was February.
I don't think. Are you sure? Well, one of them months. But that's the day that we tried to film that shed on underneath that gray shed with the cellar under it. They said you can't film anything. Grandma walked down there with us. That's when we noticed those barrels in there. I was like, what? There was a big change that happened from the one time we were there to that time.
Big change. And Benny, that's the time that Benny you had even offered to help with their drywall. That's when we went down there, and I was supposed to fix her truck or whatever. It's just too much, man. Too much. There was something going on there, and then not very long after that, they all split. I don't know if this is where my head's at right now, and I don't know. You can agree or disagree with me, Benny, but I want to see if Jody Sue was too dead set to hit Fields Road, right? She wanted to go out there as soon as possible to go look for dogs, but yet they had recommended hotel or motels for him in Baileyton, Tennessee. He decided to not go there and went to Church Hill. Why would she feel the need to ever go out there? Second, Andy called Dobbs on the 16th.
Guilty conscience. That's what. I mean, that's just IMO.
Yeah. Well, Dobbs says Andy calls him on the 16th and says, you need to get a hold of the TBI. This is my thing. If the cops talk to Dobbs on the 14th, they know there's a man that's new to the area that had it
right there.
Right across the road, on the 14th, they had an altercation with a neighbor. Why
why did Andy have to contact Dobbs? Why hadn't law enforcement contacted him? Why
would he have to contact law enforcement?
Yeah. That's
good question, brother.
From Dobbs' mouth, man. And then how do they have, now we heard Jody Sue on a live the other day. She's complaining, saying that the cops had to get Dobbs' phone number, and he got all irate because the cops said, you're going to have to pay for damages or something, she said. But then people are saying, well, Andy had his number because of settling up with a lawyer or something. Well, how was there lawyers involved already on the 16th? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
No, it's not there, and that's there's just too much. We're gonna get to it. Hurry up there, Adrian. I know you're in there. I know you're listening. I need you. Here, let's see. I'm gonna push play on this. I'll mute again for a minute.
Sorry.
I believe. And I sent him right there on the council, and he asked for one. I said, no, you can't have none.
Did he take one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honest to God, I don't know.
Okay.
But then we went to the Walgreens and dropped off Mom's prescription. I said, well, if we got to wait 30 minutes, why don't we just bring Summer down here and let her play for a little bit?
Okay.
And that's what we did.
Okay.
I mean, there was nothing. I honestly didn't see him drink nothing down here. I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't.
All right. So it's your word against his, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay. On this scenario right here. Okay. So from here, where do you guys go?
Walgreens to pick up my mom's prescription.
Okay. Is that the Walgreens right down at the edge here?
Right straight across.
It's the one that I showed the other day that it's right down here?
Yeah. When we turned to come down here, it's right down the corner.
Okay. And you get Mom's prescription.
Yep.
Then what happens?
Then I told Mom, I said, why don't we get a Sonic?
Okay.
Because it's hot out.
Right.
So we drove in there, got our Sonic.
Right across the street.
Yep, right across the street.
Okay.
And then we left from there, and I went up Moreland Drive because I had to pick up a few things. I was in the store for maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
Grabbed some milk and some cheese, and I don't remember what else I bought.
Okay. And that's the Food Lush.
No.
This is right here. Y'all are gonna want to hear this right here. Pay attention. We talked. Whoops. Where's Benny? All right. So we talked about on the live the other night that there were 2 other stops not mentioned on the timeline. That's what she was just talking about on Moreland Drive when she was in the store for 5 minutes. That's the liquor store.
Because if you notice right there, when she says that, she kind of pauses. She says, because I had to pick up some stuff. That's what that was.
That's what that was. That's the liquor store right there. Benny, I don't know if you heard, but so she told us where she gave this information out of nowhere one day. Candace said, oh, that liquor store I go to is right there beside the price list. And I looked, and it's right there. It's
the same parking lot.
Same parking lot.
Right.
So did they get groceries or just go to the liquor store?
I mean, they could have done either one, but
or both.
Wasn't there some talk that the law enforcement had been down there to the price list too?
Yeah, and then there's
yeah.
So
I think they may have actually went in there, but I mean, you could have just walked out of there, walked down to the liquor store, and then walked back to the truck. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's not what I'm questioning though. But I'm saying with their timeline.
So this is
go ahead.
So we know that all that was left in the truck was Summer and Hunter. So what if Candace went in the liquor store and Grandma went into Priceless?
Boom. There you go.
Because
there you go.
When they got home, she says that they had to separate what was hers and what was her mom's.
My question is, why are they all the way there to take Hunter all the way back there? The Priceless is closer to that Dollar General she likes to go to before you go to Lone Star, which is
right there at the end of the road.
Yeah, that Priceless is just right up from that. They're doing a lot of backtracking after that. Then they go. So that would make sense when this time on the timeline. She goes there. She goes back to take Hunter. Comes back. Stops at a Marathon and the Dollar General. And then there's talk that she might have went to one of the CP or DHS places to drop a urine screen for them that day. So if that's true, I don't know, because we can't confirm anything with that that till a legal standpoint. Everything's hearsay till then. But we heard that early on.
Did you say to drop a urine screen for CPS?
Yes.
Allegedly.
Okay.
So okay, look at that.
Yeah. So
okay.
If that's true, now this is why the urine screen things add up. She's dropped one dirty probably that day, then dropped dirty when Don went on his first hiatus. They both dropped for cocaine then. That would lead to the July, why it took so long. Maybe, possibly.
She used to say all the time, bro, I haven't done cocaine in years.
Yeah, well, she called on Don thinking that he was just going to get in trouble and she was going to get
pissed dirty for cocaine. She's lying.
And they snuck up and pissed her too.
Yeah, she pissed dirty for that shit too.
Yeah.
And then lied about it.
With
her lying ass.
So, but still, these are things that are now being able to put together. Now, I knew that we heard from them personally about the dropping dirty one when Don went on Jada's for Justice when the boys were taken. So that's what I've talked about that endlessly. But now I don't know if that 15th one is true. That changes a lot of things.
Well, I mean, early on, and it's still being said that they were supposed to be coming. DCS was supposed to be coming the next day. So that even changes that.
That would change that. For real. You're muted.
Because that keeps along with them saying that on the 14th they closed the case, right? Or the 15th they closed the case or whatever.
Yeah.
And that they came back on the 16th and opened it back up, right?
Yeah.
No. I don't believe that. I believe that she didn't pee that day and that they didn't open the case. They were trying to open the case on the 15th. That's what I think.
Well, we had argued. I said if she had to go drop a urine screen in Hawkins County, their DHS office would be in Rogersville, which is 45 minutes that way.
The other way, right?
Yeah. But could they say she goes to another office closer to the in Kingsport? I don't know.
I mean, could she have went to like a Concentra or something? I mean, would have been in like a Concentra or something like that?
Maybe.
I mean, just a place that handles urine. You know what I mean?
Oh, like a
urgent care.
Urgent care. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Possibly. Then so there's that. So we talked about that the other night for like the first time, and then the next thing I wanted to add up is because now we're talking about. Now I'm gonna skip forward on the interview here in a minute with her because then I got to find that little place where she talks about the phone and then she talks about the blue van with Dobbs. But I think when Don was gone, this has been a pretty good big theory that we've been trying to put together. I think when Don was gone to Utah, I think Jody Sue and Candace were spending a lot of time together. I think that they had been. There she is. Hold on a second.
Bro, speaking of when Don was gone, like I want to make mention, bro, like when you see, because I think we can all agree that when you look at pictures of summer, they're like a cycle, right? There's like some that are good and then it goes bad and then it goes good.
Man, I swear I feel like when we see all those pictures of that girl when she's doing her best, I swear I feel like when Don's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's when they're not consumed with drinking and arguing, and like she can really, like Candace can focus her time on those kids and not the relation between the two of them. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel, bro. I'm not suggesting that Don, is responsible for anything, but when he's there, he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the fifth kid. But he's like the big, tall, dumb one. You know what I mean? Like for real.
Well, I mean, there's as much as like, because I would have, this is the only reason, like you said, it might have been something that set her off, like, but I feel like that Don, if he had anything to do with anything, he would be arrested. If his alibi didn't check out, he's done. I feel
that's the thing. Out of the people that's involved, if there were somebody, in my opinion, that knew how to maybe in a way manipulate the questioning, or maybe know how to manipulate the test, I think it would be Don. Like he has a long history. That's not to say Candace doesn't, but Don's is longer than Candace's. You know what I mean?
Don tells on himself, and he gets caught immediately after
to a degree, though. Yeah. But that's the thing, like to a degree, because you got to know with Don, like Don hasn't messed up every single time he's broken the law. I believe Don has really probably broken the law in ways that he's never gotten in trouble for, and that, you know what I mean? Like
you've had a criminal history. I know that there was many times I should have been in trouble that by the grace of God I wasn't. And
you just took a chill pill.
There you go. What is that? That's cool.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's a chill pill, right? So it's plant-based.
Oh, that's cool.
It's 5 milligrams of THC in each one.
Oh. Dude, where they legalized it in my state now, there's stores here now that you go in.
Same thing here.
You go in and you buy the CBD and they gift you. They gift you the THC. That's how it has. Yeah.
It's complimentary.
The area we live in.
That's how it's happened to do now with the law, how it's passed here. I don't understand it, but that's how it's been.
It's still that gray area.
Yeah.
It's like in Arizona, or New Mexico. It's recreational, but they don't have a place you can go buy it.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the places, like you go get a haircut, and they'll like let you pick some weed out for like a prize, or you know what I mean, like a parting gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you went to
you go to the arcade and get tickets.
Yeah. It's strange, but it works. It works.
Yeah. Well, the thing too, there is a dispensary here for medical card, but nobody doctors here write that.
Yeah.
So you have to go.
You have to go somewhere else
online.
in the state to get your card.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the online, like they got apps. You can go on. It's like $100. Go call you, talk to you for a minute, and then they'll issue you your card.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
I'll add back on to what you were saying about Don. Adrian, we talked about this the other night. This is my thing with him, though. Well, I just don't get, like, he has a video record of him in church for 2 years with the kids. Candace maybe ever once in a while. 20 years out of trouble till Jose.
But he actually wasn't out of trouble, though. He just hadn't been caught. He was still
actively do it with his addiction. Yeah.
Right. And and the things that come along with that. And so what came with Don's addiction is, of course, drug trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And sex trafficking, dude. Like when he goes out there and he does that BS he does, bro, that is partaking in you know what I'm saying, in trafficking of women. Like
let me tell you this. I went to Knoxville. When?
Last week.
Last week I went to Knoxville. I didn't know that Knoxville was as bad as what it is. Dude, it's bad.
Yeah, I've heard, bro.
Dude, I went into place. My brother has an apartment there, and he was like, I've been there. This is where we go to the zoo. It's called the Knoxville Zoo. So we go down there, and it's in the nice part.
Like, oh, that's so nice.
It's
Maybe
nice. We'll move
here.
down here. I went to my brother's apartment. He was like, get out of the car, go straight to the apartment, and go in. And I was like, what? He was like, get out of the car, go straight and go in. I get inside and it's like, it's outside. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, and then we get out in the car. He's like, don't worry, we're probably going to get pulled over like 2-3 times before we can get out here. I was like, what? That's crazy.
That's awful.
It's that bad down there. And
Hell
I didn't know. Adrian, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on. I'm on a really quick phone call. I'll be right back. Sorry.
We see where her priorities are. I'm just joking.
I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
I give her hell every time. Anyway, so this is, I don't know. So there could be different theories. This is the thing.
Bro,
too,
she's pulling a Jody Sue. Like, wait to go online and make all your important calls and shit.
Oh.
Look, she's not even gonna. She's not even gonna say
that.
She said, "Motherfucker, I'm not even gonna entertain."
Yeah,
you.
I heard that. You better.
I was waiting for it. Dude, I have never seen somebody like just sit on a live like, and people. I'm just like, how? If I did that, they'd be like, dude. Candace's so messed up he can't even speak.
You know what I think is hilarious is the fact that woman did 20 hours or whatever, and like knowing, like, she knows everything, bro. She knows everything except for YouTube doesn't post anything past 11 hours or like 11 hours and 54 minutes. So she done like 8 or 9 hours for free that we'll never see. Well, I mean, we got it, but I'm like, what the hell?
Did she?
Golly.
I've noticed certain subjects with her, and this is the truth. Certain subjects that people touch on with her set her off, and then certain ones make her go completely quiet.
Bro, let me tell you what. I can trigger, and I don't mean to. It's just like I will organically talk about 423 Chase. And when I do, bro, she derails, son. She comes off the rail. Like I'm just all kind of different shit. She's calling the police on me, like crazy shit, bro. When I talk about Brad, and I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know what it is. I feel like what I feel like almost, bro. I almost feel like the conspiracy part of me, bro, is like, okay, we've already touched on the situation that makes her so uncomfortable. And as soon as you bring up Brad, bro, she's like, they're going to go back to that thing that makes me so uncomfortable. And I'm trying to, for the life of me, figure out what it is. I don't know. I mean, now, like, he's in custody. Did we see any behavior change from her when we were talking about Brad's in custody and all that shit? Or was she like, whew, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is, bro.
Sorry,
Adrian,
I'm back.
Can you answer that one?
What was the question?
When
like
he talked
when we talk, like, I don't know. It's almost like specifically when I talk about with Sean, she's gonna go off the rail, man. She gets derailed. Yeah.
She doesn't like anybody talking about Wishawn, but
that's weird.
She's especially triggered by Benny talking about anything that connects to her.
Yes.
That was the topic that I just brought, that we talked about the other night, that certain things set her off and make her go,
either ballistic. Certain things make her go silent.
Yeah.
Sherfy makes her go silent, completely silent. She doesn't want to talk about him. Then we hear something about the metal outside the house.
Mm-hmm.
Jody, so is that accurate? That's valid, right?
I don't know. That's what she says. That's what she was saying at that time. But I mean, we're talking about somebody who.
That came from her mouth, from Jody Sue's, right?
Yeah, she was the one. Like Andy was in the house. That's where he stayed. She stayed out in the cabin, to my knowledge, and
the yard barn.
Yeah, and she. I mean,
that's a lawnmower shed. Y'all keep
right.
calling it something that it ain't.
Don't try to church it up, son.
That's a tough shed. That's a tough shed.
Right. It's a Brad Wishon yard barn.
It's a house.
It's a house. So, you know, so whatever delusion she was having at the time, it's hard to really tell. So that's my take on that, because my hot take, as she would say. So, because she was very, very, very paranoid. I mean, just watching the videos leading up to Summer going missing, she was paranoid. She was threatening to burn the whole creek down or whatever. She was talking about the bitches at the realtor, you know, at the realty company, at, you know, because they sold this property. She was talking about Jackie Dobbs. She was talking about, you know, how nobody, you know, we sacrifice, you know, a certain way of life so that we can live with, you know, safety and peace. And
the problem with making those kind of threats is that, like, so I get it. Like, in real life, we understand, to like people, you can make a few, even maybe a series of threats, but at some point, if you don't pull off a play, if you don't run a play on some of these damn threats, people are like, man, she's just doing a bunch of this. Yeah. That's all she's doing.
It catches on quick.
Right.
Yeah, like, especially here. Like, with people, with YouTubers that got tough skins, man, you can only say you're going to call the police or do this, that, or the third so many times before they're like, man, she's full of shit. She's like, in these police, I mean, I don't know what the threshold is, but maybe when you're in the same city and in state and town and all that shit, maybe, but like, man, when you're stretched out, man, it's senseless to call the police about this shit. If somebody's just being abrasive to you, like, man, calling the police ain't nothing, man. They're just going to say, okay, thank you, looking ass. That's it.
Well, it's my understanding. It's my understanding. And I'm telling you, I've spent a lot of time asking questions, right? Because we've heard every detail of her side. So I want every detail of the other side. You know, there's his side, her side, and the truth, right? So you got to come to the middle and figure out what that truth is.
And her son and daughter's side.
Right. So, you know, so I have asked a lot of questions, and I'm sure some of my questions were hard for him to answer or whatever, because you know, there was a lot of DV accusations and stuff. I think that my questions also brought up a lot of stuff for him, you know, that he had to kind of, you know, face, that he didn't maybe realize, or that, I don't know. Anyways, so I asked him about I've asked him a couple times, but I asked him about the whole Jackie Dobbs situation and the land sales and all of that. She was completely obsessed with that. She was to the point where she was driving herself nuts over it, and she was nonstop digging for everything possible that she could find to make it hard for him. So the problem here is, you know, that she's made it seem like they both had a problem with this. It's my understanding that the night before, this all that when he left, right, when they allegedly were out looking for him and everything, when Andy talked to him, privately, separately, away from Jody Sue, Dobbs gave him his number. And
when did it give him?
When Dobbs left the night that he left,
on the 14th.
The 14th.
Andy called and warned him.
Huh?
I mean, that's what Jody says. That's Jody's claim, is that
right.
That once it all went down, Andy called, or Voldemort called Dobbs, and it was like, hey, have you talked to him? And he was like, no. And he's like, well, they'll probably be wanting to talk to you. And
that
then
was
Jody was all
right.
That was
Jody was Jody was all bent out of shape, and she was like, you may have just gave the offender a heads up, you dumbass. That's what she said.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier when I said that on the 16th, Dobbs gets a call from Andy. And the cops already knew that there's a guy that has an altercation that's new down there with a neighbor on the 14th. They have his name. They have his information. Why did Andy have to call him? Why didn't law enforcement? Why, I didn't understand that.
That wasn't Andy's job to do that, to be honest with you. I mean,
that's why.
It wasn't.
But Andy and Jackie Dobbs did not have a problem. The only problem that Andy had with him which was resolved quickly, was when Dobbs was parked in the driveway and was cutting his, the trees down that were on his part of the property. Right.
What about when they went to look for him in town? That was the 14th,
that was
right?
Jody. That was her pushing. She wanted to know where that man was.
What were they going to do if they found him?
I don't know. He was just doing what he was told to do by his master, Jody Loaf.
Well, when I talked to Andy on CSI that night, I said, is it true that y'all went to Fields Road to look for Dobbs, and why? And he said, yeah, we did go out there. But that's where I was like, well, why go out there if he didn't even know anything about that property?
Yeah, he'd have to know that that Polly and George own property over there too.
She was afraid.
Looking at
She was afraid he was hiding back in one of them hollers and he was going to come back. Is what she made it seem like.
Then why wouldn't you just stay home, and then if he comes back, call the cops again?
That's a normal sane person's thinking, Allie.
Yeah. We've talked. I said this at the beginning. She was making a fall guy. I feel like why was she at the bottom of the driveway standing? Why did she have to walk down there on the 15th?
Right.
And then I just picked up something that before you came on. From the interview room and Candace at the horse pond, the 15th, and when they pulled in, she says, my mom saw the blue van across from Jody Sue's. Dobbs drives the Trailblazer.
Right.
So who's in the blue van across on the 15th? Dobbs has an alibi for the 15th at the
motel.
Roadway Inn. So his alibi is there. He's not there on the 15th. So who's there? Because that's the only thing they're going to see before the driveway is that parking spot.
Right. And we're talking about, and now I want you to remember, so Candace says she sees a blue van. Well, guess who was out on the banks checking the property lines and was all paranoid and outside? She heard a noise at 2:14 and, she was outside all afternoon per her text messages. It was, so we need to ask Jody who drove the blue van.
Exactly. Yeah, the stool knows.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, she knows.
Andy has an alibi from work, or he would be the same way. They got him. He would have been done.
But let's talk about him right quick, because I listened to just a little bit of it, and I think it was from Dazed. Dazed is just always on top of the game, but yeah, Dazed and Confused is really a shining star when it comes to clip channels. It's not. Hey, there you go. She's not just she's clipping the right stuff. But
did she have her?
So when he's talking about what he drove that day, I have an issue and it's sort of a two-part issue. One of the parts of it, of course, well, Tarantino, and I'll start at the end, is that if he's not sure of certain details that I think would be pretty easy to recall, or should be very easy to recall, then what are we still doing? And that's just sort of an open-ended question. The actual question is he says, well, I think I was driving the car. And then later on down, like, what would Jody Sue have had that day? And they say, well, she had the Soul. Well, that's the same vehicle. The car and the Soul are the same vehicle.
She normally drove the Soul when she would go somewhere. But
which is interesting.
They had three different vehicles.
Right. And I get that, because so he's saying I could have been in the car. And that is the point, is that if he doesn't drive that very often, seems like there would have maybe been something in there where, there'd been a peripheral issue. He drove the car for some reason. He, like Don, now all of a sudden he's in a car he takes to work, and it's very, it's out of the question. It's something new. So you mean they're both maybe driving cars to work on the same days that they never usually drive to work? Like, what the hell, man? What the hell's going on?
Too, Benny, and I got Dudley on a call where I called him just maybe 2 weeks ago. I called him and I said, well, because Dobbs said he saw Don in his white Sonoma on the 14th. Well, I switched it up when I was talking to Dudley, and I said, well, Don was driving the white Sonoma by a neighbor that had just bought property in Beach Creek on the 15th.
Right.
And he says, yeah, he always drove that. And he said, and I said, so he only drove it on the 14th, the red Subaru on the 14th? And he said, yeah. And I said, what?
Like he didn't drive it on the 15th.
Yeah.
But see what,
but with Andy specifically, I think he switched it up when if she had a doctor's appointment or something, she would illegally drive without a license, the Kia Soul. And if, then otherwise he would take, the car. Like, he drove all three of the cars. So it wasn't abnormal.
By now, they would have told, by now, they would have told that man all the different, he's talked to the feds, TBI, Hawkins County. He didn't talk to all the different people, EquiSearch. He's talked to everybody you could. You would think by now they've already told him what he was driving that day, and he still doesn't know.
Well, he hasn't talked to them since right after Summer went missing.
So when they say, okay, so who's seen him driving down the road? Fred Hill seen him driving down the road, right? What the hell, did Fred Hill just see him floating in an invisible vehicle? Fred Hill see what he was driving in then.
That's what Fred said. And Fred said 4:30. That would have been.
He said 3:30.
3:30.
Which is the wrong time.
Right.
3 hours early, right? But so Fred saw what he was driving. But has Fred ever said publicly or to any outlet that we can get a hold to what was Volderbert driving that day? Was he driving his truck or was he driving the car?
Whoever Fred saw.
What was the third one?
Huh?
What was the third vehicle they had?
He had a truck, he had a car, and I want to say he had a Jeep, but I'm not 100% on that. I've never asked.
Well, listen, there was one that Brad Wishon Dad had for sale that was, you tell me a color, was black.
I don't know. I can ask him.
I will freak out if you say it's black, because
I will ask him. But but the thing about it is Fred Hill. So Fred Hill sees him at 3:30, but he's on camera until almost 6 o'clock. So how's that work?
Who said he was on camera until 6 o'clock? Did the feds tell us?
No. I have other sources on that.
It's just, but you see what I'm saying.
Like you told me, I stand behind. Now
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But it's just like is certain things maybe you wouldn't have remembered, but through talking with all these different agencies, you know now. That's my opinion.
When we talked to Ader and Earl, I kind of had an issue. Just to be very honest, I mean, to be blatantly honest, I would, even no matter, I've done tons of drugs and my brain's messed up. And I was like, I would remember that what I drove with the police.
Listen, he's talked to the uppers. He talked to Chris and Trudy. He's been interviewed. Fred Hill has also been interviewed by Chris and Trudy. They would have told him, hey, Fred said you were driving this that day.
Right.
Well, if that's what he heard from Chris and Trudy, when somebody asked him on his live, what were you driving that day? He'd say, well, he might even say, they said I was driving this. I don't know. I just find it very, very inconvenient. I don't want to say convenient, but I find it very inconvenient that we don't know that. Like, that's pretty, it's like standard information, because I believe if you were to ask Andy to tell us about the day Summer went missing, he should theoretically start either with the ride home or arriving home, right? He shouldn't start with breakfast that day, right? That has nothing to do with it. So
he went to work. His story about his day, though, has not changed. Jody Sue's story has changed many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem I have. Like, we have Dawn and Candace who have lied about a million stupid things. We have, and then also the timeline.
Yep.
We have Jody Sue who has lied about a million things. And then we have Andy who's just like, I don't know, I went to work and I came home and it was chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he was.
Yes, he was.
Ziggy,
Yeah.
What about the cameras?
What, the cameras?
Yeah, the issues with the cameras.
She does not want the location of those cameras out.
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear to me where the cameras are, if they were still there while I was there, because when Andy, and you know what, that's their place. Like, I was down there and, you know, I didn't belong there. And then, you know, all of a sudden he showed up, and after putting, you know, a couple of things together, it was like, okay, well, there's definitely a camera here. And he could see what was going on there. Now this is the interesting part, because Jody Sue had always said that they were hardwired cameras, and
well, she knew a lot about stuff that was happening later on.
Correct.
Hardwired
would suggest to you, the way she made it sound, and maybe I've got the context messed up. The way she made it sound is that it would go to a DVR, and that she could look at it on the TV from in the cabin or wherever on their property. But he wasn't there, and then he pulled up, which means that it's an IP camera. He can look at it from his phone, or, you know, I don't know. So there were those two discrepancies for me with the camera, unless, you know, that I've got the context incorrect with the hardline cameras. But it was a lot going on with the camera stuff. And I've heard many people complain to me about, well, you know, he'll add the cameras in, then he'll subtract the cameras out, and then he'll add them back and subtract them out again. And no, you know, there's a few in the community that, quite a few, that aren't really sure about the cameras now.
Well, the thing about the cameras is that Jody Sue has, every time that he speaks, she was like, watch this group. Look at these people. They want the location of those cameras. So
I mean, at this point, you know, the location, in my opinion, it means nothing.
Well, I know where they're at. I know where they're at.
I know to an idea, but they said there was also.
I mean, I could tell you within reason. I mean, I can tell you which direction they're pointed. At least two of them. I don't know if there's more than two, but there's one down the driveway that caught me and Cam. Remember Cam?
Yep.
There's one pointed down the driveway because he saw me and Cam at the end of the driveway talking, and then there's one pointed down at Beach Creek because he saw us down at Beach Creek too.
Yep.
I know that. So.
Yep. And then ahead.
So that ruins the abduction theory. That's why she does not want the location of those cameras out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and she says Dobbs cut the wire to the cam, and then later said it was Light's wire, and then she didn't. You know, this is what Sage Sleuth said, and then said she didn't have had time to get a wire for that camera.
Well, right, and so I guess I have another issue too with the Schedule 2 stuff. The Schedule 2, he says that I'm not bashing the guy. I'm only raising the issues.
Well, things have to be discussed. It has to be a discussion there. That's
correct.
Okay.
The Schedule 2, all of a sudden now it comes from something that was in her purse, which. And that's straight out of his mouth. He says, "I don't know what it was. Was it this? Was it that?" And he rattled off 2 names to different things, but he said it was stuff that came from her purse. And now, I don't know how you go about getting that, but that's a charge that he caught a charge that would have essentially, I guess, been for her. But never through all of his court documents or court hearings, they never talked about what the substance was. I don't know if I believe that all the way.
Well,
I find that highly, highly irregular that they would just say Schedule 2 and never talk about the substance or, the amount.
Schedule 2. We have oxycodone is Schedule 2. Lortab is Schedule 3. Then you have methamphetamine Schedule 1.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Okay. I just got a little clarity.
Well,
okay.
So basically the consensus that I always get from him in a lot of things involving her and her past behaviors and her past dealings were, he doesn't really know what she was up to. So I'll just leave it at that.
2 minutes.
Well, I can tell you this too. As of even the 15th of this year, Jody Sue was saying stuff that nobody else could have known unless she had cameras still out there.
Yep.
Accusing people and knowing things that nobody could have known.
And now she has those cameras right in her possession. She showed them on her live.
Yep. So
she's been going to Beach Creek lately as well. So
why do you need to know what everything is still happening down there, even though you've been evicted off of there? She's dead set and worried about knowing every single thing that happens on that road. And who comes down there, who drives by, who's doing this, who's doing that. Come to find out that we didn't even know when we first went up there that she had a problem and was already going off saying that people were Squall and us were keeping Candace. What did she say? Oh, I'm sorry. Crystal methamphetamine is a substance, is a Schedule 2. Heroin would be a Schedule 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And then oxycodone 2 is a Schedule 2. And then there's, I think, Xanax Schedule 4, Lortab Schedule 3. Marijuana is still a Schedule 1, which is crazy. But besides that fact, anyway, where I was at is that she has had an issue with anybody who comes and goes down there. She has a problem. She's saying, oh, they got Candace over here and they won't. What was her exact words? Squall said. They have Candace surrounded. She was so upset that something was going to be said. So when that happens, that's when she starts turning and changing her story because she's afraid something's going to come out about her. And when she's asked when we asked this is my opinion right here. This is my opinion, but it all falls in line. Makes sense. Then Candace has nothing bad to say, talks about Jody Sue like her best friend. And then, Candace gets completely shattered when Jody Sue starts talking about her. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I do believe that Andy, if he was to have known anything down there, like he completely set himself away from that. And maybe it's because he finally was able to get away from her because of this. I don't know. She does seem like that we heard him speak very early on of the things that she was doing to him. She likes to see people get destroyed. She likes it. She has that's weird. That
enjoys it.
That's sadistic.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And when he finally got out of there, it was the type of situation where he was like, this is my shot.
That's what,
all eyes are here. I can leave and nothing can happen.
Very true. And that's everything that was said about him has been twisted when he stepped away. She has tried to push blame on every single person but herself. And then when she gets cornered, but everybody's fingers always get pointed back at her.
Mm-hmm.
Every direction that anybody that lives around there, it's always back at her.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you want to talk about Sherfy's first thing, he comes down there with Molly and them and says, that one up there, talking about Jason, and that one of those over there.
Yeah.
On both sides of the hill. I mean, we have multiple people that have questionable things, and that's the problem. Every theory fits, but Jody Sue has been the only person who gets bent out of damn shape if you say anything about anything. And talking about back on Brad with Sean, this is where I wanted to add. So we have somebody that y'all all know, and I'm not going to put her name out there because she's been on our channel. She was very good in helping early on, and she got kind of snagged by Brad Wishon and kind of ran through the ringer. But she said when they got the motel for Jody Sue, her and Brad were very chummy with each other going into that motel room, very chummy with each other. Well, that night Brad calls us, he's just going berserk about Jody Sue, and she starts messaging us for the very first time out of nowhere, bashing the hell out of him. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wants nothing more but to get on that property. And he's pointing direct. He kept saying, well, I don't know why y'all would search out there because it's already been searched. Well, we didn't tell you where we were searching. So how do you know that? He had either had inside people out there telling him. Who would that be?
I doubt it.
You don't think he did?
I think he's just lying. Like everything else, the drones and all the money. And
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He wanted nothing more but to get on that property. And that's when he tried to he was like, well, what about that shoe up there? And then he tried to say he found clothes out somewhere, but he never produced it. And then he said that.
Remember, so that day that we were out searching, and he said he was out searching, and he was like, we found something. Wait till I show you these pictures. And we never got the pictures. He said,
oh, it's just spinning.
It's just spinning. I don't have service. It's just not going through. And never.
And then on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
On to the next thing. But
that was the same day as the whole shoe thing.
Before he said the thing that Tiffany caught him on with that.
Grandma's going to be a hero.
Yeah, before that, he came out with his inside source was somebody and the official for Hawkins County that said that Lawson's going to set the parents up. So you have to find something. You got to. That's what he said. I said, well, if you can't find it, if it ain't there. There was some. So he got cornered when Don got his DUI. Guess who threw their stuff out? I'll go get the truck. I'll go get it. He wanted nothing.
He's like, I'm on my way out there now.
He wanted nothing more but to be by himself in something that he could do something. It's weird.
Yep, and then you got to look at all the people that Brad is connected to in the background.
How much time did he get for this? Does anybody know? I didn't see his sentencing.
I never could find it.
You couldn't find it?
Mm-mm. But it was a holiday weekend. So, but I didn't check it.
56 months, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. He ain't ever going. That dude right there. He went to jail. This is crazy. I'll tell you this for the first time. One of our mods called the jail, and they said they had a Brad Wishon in there, and it was like an hour later. She called back, and he calls and said, "Why are you telling everybody I'm in jail?" I said, "What? How do you know?"
Yeah, it was weird.
Dude, it was weird. This dude, like and it was what county?
Sullivan, wasn't it?
No,
Or was it Hawkins?
No, Washington.
Was it Washington?
Something.
One
Like
of them three.
One of them three. I can't remember, but he flipped out, and there was something going. You found Benny, didn't you find that about his brother and Jody Sue?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Somebody else had pointed me in the direction, and it was like, whoa, yeah, this is
his brother and Jody Sue and Andy shared an address on, when we pulled their stuff, 333 Snapsberry Road.
Yeah,
right?
Snapsberry.
Okay, well, it was a house that it was the house that they were raided in. So Andy went to jail. Jody Sue was there by herself.
It's Sullivan County, right?
And Jean Wishon also had the address the same years that Jody Sue had the address.
Correct.
So
now we also have someone else that has been talking to both Brad and Jody Sue in the background, while she's also been trying to infiltrate every person that is trying to find Summer. And she is within, a stone's throw of Jean Wishon now.
Correct.
Well,
within a stone's throw.
That right there.
So it's like a right, I believe it's a right, another right.
So is somebody else though, right?
And then there you are. So we have people that have inserted themselves that are all connected to each other in some way, very closely connected, not like they have a freaking, a second cousin who married a third cousin of someone else. It's not that kind of a connection. It is a very direct connection to each other, and they're all connected to each other, and they are all talking, because there's been receipts of that given. And there has been lots of communication. And so whenever Jody Sue talks about our little spider web syndicate that we have going on here as creators, the spider web is actually including her and Brad and this other person and a couple other people in the background.
She is the Black Widow.
She's the Black Widow of the Spider Syndicate.
It ain't Brad no more.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, dummy got himself locked up. Now what are they gonna do?
Hey, look.
I bet he's bitching and complaining too.
Oh, I bet he's rolling hard now. I bet if he got any kind of sentence, he's like, "I'll talk to you. Hey, can you get them to come talk to me?"
That'd be it, bro.
Yeah. What about, so we've been talking, I talked to an officer today. I'm not going to tell you where or where he's from, but I brought up Summer Wells case, and he said, "Oh, I heard about that John Allen Biggins and all that down there in Sullivan County." I said, "What?"
He put that together with that?
He is okay. I don't want to put, I can't. He is from where I'm from in law enforcement. So I know him very well. I know him very well from school. And I talked to him today, and that's what that came out immediately. We've been talking about there's people that are in law enforcement paying attention to certain things. And I found that quite wild, and I find it very strange that so I get a text tonight asked about from some other people that we talked about just a minute ago again. Ziggy, the reason that we know the PIs had talked to Fred Hill is because Don's story of him being down there at corroborated, Don being down there 3 hours after Summer went missing, and what he said, that's true, and they corroborate. So that gives some credence or whatever the word is to what Fred has said.
Yeah.
But this
I just got a real quick. I just got a thing. It says Brad Wishon's intake date was 9/2, and he does not have a release date.
Ooh.
Does not. Oh God.
Damn.
How do you not? Is he not sentenced yet?
It must not be, bro. Or they don't have it entered in yet.
There's nothing. So
held without bond, not sentenced.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to get that out there.
I don't know. But this is where I was getting at. So we had talked about. I asked those same people that I just talked about just now. I said, "Do we know the vehicle on the 15?" Yeah, but we don't give our information out to anybody but law enforcement because we learned a hard lesson. I said, yeah, we did too. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all, as I said, they talked to Fred Hill. They're texting and bitching because I've talked about this stuff. And well, you know what? I don't care if law enforcement is not going to take these reports. Then somebody hopefully is listening out there. And obviously, I'm reaching out to officers around here who are paying attention too. So I don't know what they can do, but officers usually tend to have to know other cops, and they might be able to have resources. Well, there's also another private investigator I've talked to. It's been on Court TV that's going to be coming on that might be looking into this case very deeply.
I hope so.
Yeah.
The more eyes on this case, the better. The more professionals in this case, the better.
That's right.
And I Phil Garcia.
Do what?
They need Phil Garcia from California. He
oh dang, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looked at the boys' case and he kind of figured out pretty quick. Like what he said was pretty much kind of he said there's some concerns here and there, and he was right from way back then. And he just sort of got bullied off the case. They started threatening him and stuff, and he went away. Yeah. So, but Phil Garcia is a hell of a private investigator.
This guy that I talked to him on the phone, this PI, and I don't want to put his name out there yet till he makes his decision. But when I talked to him, he said, I talked to him for a long time. He said, I've watched a lot of stuff. He said, a lot of details that I haven't heard. And I was like, well, I'm passionate about this, and I've seen things with my own eyes out there and talked to people. I said, I really feel like if somebody else would come in and look at this, that you might see something that and he was like, I'm very interested. So hopefully, I pray. But there's been a lot of people that don't want to touch this case with a 10-foot pole.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame them.
Don't want to touch it.
Because if it wasn't for my love for Summer, I would not be here right now.
Same.
Look, I had to call this officer today, the one I was talking about, because of my family. We'll just say that because he protects my family at where they go. You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell him things about certain things, and I brought up certain things. I asked questions about threats that were made. I was like, how would somebody know this? Unless they were law enforcement. What did he say?
He said they wouldn't.
He said they wouldn't. There's only certain things like that law enforcement can pull that were said in comments. So I've had comments from a account that has to be getting information or is a law enforcement officer. Right. And
in Hawkins
County, I can't give you the details of it because I'm not. That's my business. But that's when I saw that, I was like, when I even saw the comments on there, like when I'm talking about these are the comments that were where we were at searching, what time we left, when we were on this part of the road, when we did this, and certain issues about even my vehicle and stuff would be left in the comments, and they knew everything.
Yeah.
And would say threaten me with coming to Hawkins County and everything. So, and you know that there's something going on over there, and there's ties to certain people. There's been threats made. I said this to him too. This is the big one right here. I said Sheriff Lawson said on a press release that there wasn't a drug problem down there. He said shit. What county, town in this area, especially, but in the whole United States, don't have a drug problem in there.
That's right.
He said, you know, down there they are. He said there was no way he could. That's what he said. He put himself out. I'm going to see if maybe I can get him to. Do you think he'd come on and talk? And honestly, he might. I might get him to.
Get a voice changer for him.
I will.
Yeah, I mean, there is a huge problem in Beach Creek specifically, Fall Branch, Churchill, you know, all the surrounding little areas. I mean, hell, look at Sullivan County. Look how many missing people in Sullivan County that there are. It's ridiculous.
Well, Hawkins County has 6 active missing and unsolved homicides.
Right. I mean, and we have this, you know, I mean, anytime that anybody tries to do the right thing and speak up in that area about what's really happening down there, their lives are put in danger.
Every time. Every
single time. That's a problem. That's a problem whenever it comes to finding the truth for a missing little girl. And when when people can terrify others, certain people within that specific community, that specific spider web of crime, can like just literally threaten and terrorize people to never speak. That's a problem, especially because they might have a clue to what happened to Summer. You know, I don't know. There's just a lot. And then, and anytime anybody,
you were on the phone with us the other night. Here, tell them what's happening.
What specifically?
With my house and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let
they believe that they're finding clues that someone is around their home.
They're pulling the siding out from underneath. There's no way it can get pulled out. There's behind my house. There just certain things I found sleeping bag. This weird thing our camera has picked up people walking through, but you can
only their shadows.
Yeah.
It's people think this ain't. This is why I had to reach out because I mean month 1 I was threatening my children would be the next.
Yeah. And that was one of the first conversations that we ever had with you guys privately. We were talking about that.
That's why I had to call this officer. I'll be honest with you. That's what he does is he protects children.
Right.
And that's, you know, and I was followed home from the store and tried to be intimidated. They stopped and they cracked their window just to let me know. And I'm the kind of person that talks shit. So I said, get on out that car then. Flipping out.
And I know of 4 other people who have this same issue that are not connected to each other, by the way.
Yeah. And and look, Vinny, this we were talking about the motorcycle dudes and that's what we're going to be getting to. We're working on those guys are messing around. Dude, Brandon is a known. Brandon Carr, the one that was with JLR out there, is a known thief. He was carrying a firearm that whole time with him in that video. He is a light. Frank Light lives right there where they were at. They failed to put that information out there. There's
at least frequents there.
Or at least frequents there. No, Anyway,
conflicting things.
This needs to be looked into. There is something big in that county, and I believe if Beach Creek really gets uncovered, there's going to be a lot more uncovered than what they want. I think that's my opinion.
Yeah.
there's too much. I've never seen the amount of people get harassed, threatened. Like, how many people can get threatened by just one person? If it was just a family, if it was just a single incident between two people or something, why would so many people be threatening people? Yeah, I don't understand.
There's too many secrets.
Too many secrets.
You know, that Beach Creek mud that old Jody talks about.
Shit.
You know, it doesn't wash off easily, according to her. So, what does that mean? I mean, and first of all, she's really inserted herself to know all of these things and all of these people because she ain't even from there.
Right.
She's from down the road a ways in a whole nother county, in a whole nother holler.
Look, and that she has pulled. That's the thing too. Sullivan County, if they've had charges there too, she has had a status there. I've talked about her immediate thing when she first reached out to us was, I'm not an informant. People say I said, who said that? That was before I ever heard anything.
And that's bullshit. That's a lie, because we got it proof in her text in that Discord. She admits to being an informant.
Well, yeah, and then we have proof too of her trying to deflect us from the footprints early on, saying that law enforcement. Oh, she said those things are bullshit. By the way, I said no, they're not. While she's telling everybody they're legit, then I say I called her out on her shit because I knew some more, and she's like, well, maybe law enforcement's just telling me that to throw me off. Like, they're gonna throw you off. Come on. Something's up, y'all. I'm telling you, it's going to get uncovered. She's flipping out. She's losing control. It's not picking on her. And I hope you watch this, Jody. So it's not called picking on you. This is called calling you out on what you say and what you do. Words. Your words. Sorry, it is what it is. You attack people that get close to the truth, and you send people. And the people that were threatening us with the real serious threats are in your chat talking to you. What's up with that?
Yeah, talking like your besties.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've been on 2 hours. I appreciate y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me, sir.
Dude, this has been good. This is a good discussion.
We need to do this more.
Yeah, thank you, Benny. I know I hit you at the last minute.
No,
Adrian,
cool. Thanks for having me.
I told everybody in your chat, I was like, Adrian's coming on before I even asked her. Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm really sorry.
I just posted in my chat, like, I'll be there soon. I'm still on cracking cases. I really didn't give myself enough time. I didn't think, let me tell you what, that fourth kid, man, whoo, baby, that fourth kid will get you. So if you thought that having the baby of the family would be like your best child, it will be your wildest child. And I had my niece today too, so it was like everything got, because she doesn't leave till 7:30, so everything gets like delayed. So
let me tell y'all a personal story today. I'm gonna leave on something funny. So my son gets off the bus today, and he's like, "This is the worst day of my life." And I was like, it's not funny, but it is. But I was like, because of what my daughter says. Because of what my daughter said. She goes, so my son, I said, what happened? And he
tells us what happened.
He tells us what happened. And so he, this is why I ended up having to call the guy I did today that I was talking to. A little kid that's a new student put his hands on my son today.
Aww.
And I said, did you do what I told you to? Because I always told him if somebody hits you in the face, I said, you don't start something, but you finish it.
Right.
I said, never let somebody hurt you like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he did. My son's such a good-hearted kid. He said, I didn't want to hurt him, make him cry.
No.
And I said, so you did the right thing. You did the right thing. I was taught wrong. He knows, and it's how good of a heart he has. So now my daughter comes here and she said, please, if I knew that he would have done that, and I knew where your class was, I would have come running down the halls, even though they told me I wouldn't, and I would have hit him.
She said, I don't care if they tell me not to run in the halls, I would have ran anyway, and I would have hit him.
She has, she is the
She's
one.
a firecracker.
She is a firecracker. But we tell him all the time, I'm like, you be good to her because you have a best friend for life.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
You have one that will have your back forever. And
that's how my brother and I were, and I still are. But man, I would throw down for my brother back in the day.
That's the first incident I've ever had with my son. I was proud of him today.
Yeah,
I really was.
Our daughter is literally Camden made over in female form, and our son is me. So it's
awesome.
She's doing good though. My little girl's got the she's more, my son's just like just catches on and to everything, very smart. My daughter has to work at it. She will sit and teach herself to read a book. And like through the summer, we thought that she wasn't doing anything. She was watching her tablet on how to do things.
Right, that's awesome.
Wow, and she's 100 every day.
102 the other day.
100, we're proud. So, but anyway, that's off the point. But guys, thank y'all. I'll let y'all get to where y'all got to go and do. Thank y'all.
Thanks for having me. Sorry I was late, and we'll do this again really soon.
All right, yeah, we'll work on some. Thanks, Benny. See y'all.
All right, bye.
He just popped out. Later. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope that's been good. Time flies when you get in a discussion like that. This is going to be more than a 1-2 part, I guess. It's going to be a 3, 4, 5 part because we got a lot to talk about, right? Y'all are I'm going to work on those clips for sure to get them just already clipped so I have them to play. I was kind of running late, but you know, it is what it is. We can't. We're not perfect, but we do this right here. Off the cuff, just right off, you know, off the hip, not planning it. And this is how good they go. Discussions like this happen. There's a lot to still be discussed in Summer's case. I don't give a crap what anybody talks about. And the ones that are out there that say, oh, they're still talking about Summer's case. That's our backyard.
We're trying to make sure that whatever happened is found out. That way that no other kids in our area have this happen.
No. If
we could just help one kid here,
I will take a stand against this before it starts around here. If there's something that people, you know, just to save one child, I'll do what it takes. I'll put my life on the line. I know I will. No, she will too. That's what justice is about. It's not about anything else. Guys. Yeah, we're going to Miss Key. We'll do that on the next one. 2 hours is my max because it's hard to follow anything farther on. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Prayer way out and we'll go. Dear Lord, thank you for what you do. We ask for answers. We ask that more creators come together, more people with knowledge come together, and more people that have resources, PIs, whatever, come together to look in this case and find this child. We ask that justice be served on whoever is involved. Whether it be Don, Candace, Jody Sue, whether it be anybody that's out there that might not even be named, let them come forward out of the dark and into the light. God, we ask that you protect all of our children. Let us be vigilant in watching our children and keeping them close. Let us take to be good parents, to be very good caretakers of our children because we raise them for you. They are only ours for a short time on this earth. Lord, again, we ask for justice to be served, and we ask that you just bless people and put peace in everyone's heart. Let's not be so quick to point fingers till we have the evidence in front of us. We can talk about what we have, but just to go on things that aren't proven is not right. Thank you for everything you do in our lives. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Hold on. Can we say a prayer for Killer Look's family?
Oh, yes. And dear Lord, we lift up Killer Look's mother. She had a hard battle. And Lord, we ask that you put peace in Killer Look's heart. His mother passed away, God, and we know that you know, think those things are hard. We ask that you just bless him, bless his family, and Lord, we just ask that his mother is okay and she's not suffering anymore, and that just pray that they make it through this trying time. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys, that's all I got. Remember, at the end of the day, everybody wants justice.
But justice doesn't have to be carried out with hate.
I think that's it for us. Till next time, keep on cracking. God bless. Thanks to Benny Keys and Adrian from Chroma Mama. If anybody else wanted to come up, I would have opened it up. I just couldn't pay attention to the chat very much. It was hard tonight. Again, till next time, keep on cracking. God bless.
See ya.